when I met Andy Warhol, I was a sort of downtown Lower East Side girl-boy artist making work, and it was a natural thing after I went to Syracuse University in the VPA to become an illustrator for editorial publications for the New York Times, for Red Book magazine that had fiction at that time, still does, for GQ. And so I started doing drawings when I was 21. I instantly got published. I was very lucky. Andy was really helpful. He put my work in shows. He brought me to lots of really interesting events. I met some amazing people, and I was showing in the East Village and in Paris. I had a party, and that's how Andy met me. I made tents of fire. Like I made 11-foot canvases of fire and huge figures, and so they were like in a tent shape under the water tower. And he came to the installation parties that I had, and then he threw some for his friends in that space. It was really wonderful. And one time he came over and he said, "Look what I have," and it was a little pink heart confetti, and he'd been on Park Avenue and brought me this pink heart confetti that we'd been throwing off the roof at the party 3 nights before. I started doing traffic cones as a way of showing people that there is some danger around. These are sort of replicas of danger cones. When it's on, it sort of acts out. So this is a cone. And this is the way Louise Bourgeois would hang this cone, I think. This is also another way to look at it. It's vertical. This is my daughter Juliet when she was a wee little thing, wearing one of my old dresses that my mother had made for me. This is my son Lovis. He's named after Lovis Corinth, the German expressionist painter who made wildly colored, wonderful paintings. This is Juliet again, the same one, and this is Lovis. I took Peppermint Patty to the hospital. They were both birthed in birthing centers, not the hospital. And I took Peppermint Patty, who has orange hair, and she's a Charles Schulz Peanuts character, with me, and lo and behold, I got 2 redheads just from that lucky little thing. I started making e-paintings when I had my children. When my children were clinging to me, they were like these adorable little monkeys clinging onto you. They want to be you when they're babies. And so I started making e-paintings as the notion of the intersection of things holding together. Like things start as a seed and they become these interlocking pieces. That was 1989 to 93 when they were babies. And so in then there was e-commerce and everything else. I like to be able to cool off in the summer. We're not air conditioned here, and so I like to cool off in the summer by jumping in my children's pool and coming back and painting. Yes, it does look like we're growing algae, and we probably do have frogs in there. There was a barn near here, and some gypsies arrived. Some gypsies arrived at these barns, and they were actually living in trailers, and they were taking the barns apart. So I drove past, and I talked to them, and they were really intriguing people, actually. And they were going to take this barn that they were disassembling up to Vermont. So there were 4 other barns. So I found the guy that they told me to go see, and we actually took apart a barn and stuck it out in the garden and then reassembled it. I actually saw Andy the day before he went into the hospital, when he died. He was actually really nervous. My mother also had gallbladder surgery, and so we talked a lot about that, and that whole thing was a terrible misfortune.